I the first strike, mockery written in fire. It began, as these stories often do, with arrogance. A border colony of the Earth Confederacy, Halcyon Reach, was attacked without warning. The aggressors, the Vaer Dominion, a species that prided itself on cruelty masked as pragmatism. They came not for resources, not for war, but for spectacle. With weapons that turned oceans to steam, they struck. Cities were glassed, families scattered to ash. A message was carved into the world's surface with orbital fire. Humanity is too fragile for the stars. The Vaer broadcast their massacre to the galaxy. To them it was theater, an example, a warning to lesser species. Do not grow too ambitious. Do not dream beyond your station, or you will burn. For the Dominion, humanity was an amusing upstart, a young species playing at diplomacy, pretending at parity, while real powers looked on with condescension. The attack was not strategic, it was mockery written in fire. Aye, the feast of arrogance, alien laughter echoes. In the Dominion's Grand Council halls, the lords feasted. Across hollow networks, their allies cheered. Did you see them scatter? One laughed. So weak, so brittle, and yet they call themselves explorers. The galaxy chuckled along. Humanity was new, still raw, still carrying that inconvenient trait, hope. To the old empires, hope was an annoyance. It made lesser species reckless, better to crush it quickly. In taverns of alien trade stations, in the backrooms of interstellar guilds, humanity's destruction was toasted like a fine vintage. And then, in a quiet corner of a forgotten bazaar, an odd thing happened. A human sat at a food stall. His name was unimportant, his pockets empty. A drifter, barely surviving the galaxy's indifferent grind. He noticed a shivering merchant, an insectoid from the fringe counting coins, realizing he could not afford his own meal. The human sighed, patted his pocket, and paid for the alien's food. A broke man buying lunch he could not afford. A meaningless gesture to him. But to the merchant, the insectoid was not a trader at all. He was a scribe of the ancient accord, a keeper of treaties so old that most species forgot they even existed. And now, bound by custom and cosmic law, he recorded one name. Humanity. Aye. The silence before the storm, final protocol. News of the Accords recording spread faster than fire. The Dominion laughed at first. A broke human bought lunch, and now their species is under the Accord's protection. What nonsense! But to the archivists, scribes, and record keepers of the galaxy, it was no joke. By an ancient code predating even the oldest empires, an act of selfless charity across species lines triggered something unthinkable. The final protocol. Once invoked, it demanded enforcement. And the enforcers, those who had slept for millennia, began to stir. Across dead worlds and hollow moons, hangars cracked open. From black vaults buried in neutron stars, engines ignited. Satellites dormant for eons whispered one word to the void. Awaken! The galaxy did not yet understand. The Dominion did not yet fear. But Earth's silence, that was the first warning. No statements. No pleas. No begging in the halls of alien councils. Just silence. And movement. And the whisper of names etched into the Accord's archives. IV, the breaking of chains, humanity rises. It began with the skies darkening. From the Uit gates came vessels the galaxy had forgotten humans even had. Not the sleek exploration frigates, not the fragile colony ships. These were dreadnoughts, city-sized beasts, hulls black as obsidian, carrying names not heard in centuries. Retribution, harbinger, dragon's breath. They moved not as fleets but as storms. Entire systems found their stars eclipsed. Galactic observers whispered in fear. They had these hidden for how long? When human comms finally broke the silence, the galaxy flinched. No negotiation, no declaration, just a message repeated in every tongue. You touched what was ours. The final protocol is enacted. And then the reckoning began. The fire that answered mockery. The Dominion's celebration turned to panic. Their fleets assembled, confident still in their numbers. Millions of ships across dozens of sectors. But confidence is not strength. When the human storm arrived, time itself seemed to bend. Dreadnoughts slipped from void space with impossible precision. Human strike carriers unleashed storms of automated war machines, drones swarming like locusts, carving destroyers into slag. A single human cruiser, the Vigilant, cut through an entire armada, its rail cannons firing with the weight of mountains, every impact brighter than suns. Planetary shields, the Dominion once bragged, were unbreakable, folded like glass before siege, arrays humanity had kept hidden. On one world, defenses lasted 3 hours, on another 30 minutes. By the third planet, Dominion commanders fled before firing a shot. The galaxy watched as the mocked children of Saul became reapers. The shattering of the Dominion. The Dominion's capital burned. Its proud spires, once mirrors to starlight, became ruins under orbital bombardment. Its lords, once dripping in arrogance, begged for mercy that did not come. Human soldiers descended like storms given flesh, armored titans whose visors reflected only fire. To the Dominion civilians, they said only one thing. This is not your punishment, this is your release. To the soldiers, the officers, the governors who cheered the massacre of Halcyon Reach, there was no release. Only fire. Entire fleets vanished in silence. Command centers found only ruin. The very name Vayer Dominion was scorched from records by decree. And across the galaxy, every species watching realized humanity was not merely avenging a colony. They were making a statement. The whispered fear never again. When it was done, silence stretched across the stars. No victory speeches. No triumphant banners. No parades. Only the whisper of survivors scattered across space. Never provoke Earth again. At forgotten spaceports, in shadowed council chambers, aliens muttered the words as prayer and warning. They waited, they hid, they endured mockery, and when they rose, they did not rise as men, they rose as storms. The insected scribe who had once been given lunch recorded the final passage in the archives. The humans gave when they had nothing. The galaxy took when they had everything. And so the final protocol was enacted. Let no one test their patience again, for their vengeance is infinite. And across the stars, even the proudest empires now trembled at the thought of the broke human who bought a stranger's meal and accidentally crowned his species as the galaxy's most terrifying VIP.